All right, let's get into this. Today, we're going to break down an absolutely epic tale that, believe it or not, starts with a simple snack and somehow ends with a tiger, a king, and a pretty amazing lesson in friendship. Okay, so let's dive right in. It all kicks off with our hero, Motu, in a state of just absolute despair. You hear this cry, and it really sets the stage for a seriously dramatic journey. But, the cause of all this misery? It's probably not what you'd expect. So what's the source of all this anguish? Well, his local samosa seller has left town for a whole month. Now for Modu, this isn't just some minor inconvenience. No, this is a full-blown crisis. It's a void that he decides he absolutely has to fill himself. So he vows to cook them at home. And he draws a very clear line in the sand, warning his best friend Potlu to stay far, far away from the kitchen. This is a solo operation, a one-man mission for culinary survival. But as you can probably guess, Motu's simple plan, well, it quickly spirals into utter chaos. His kitchen adventure is anything but straightforward. In fact, you could say it's a perfect recipe for disaster. And this is where things just become pure slapstick. What starts out as a kind of minor pest problem with some mice literally blows the roof off the house. It goes from bad to worse to completely absurd in 3 easy steps. It's really just a perfect storm of failure. Each disaster just piles on top of the last one, leaving our heroes completely helpless inside a giant ball of dough. And to add insult to injury, their rival shows up at the perfect moment just to laugh at them. So, while all that's happening, while Motu and Potlu are stuck, a completely new plotline kicks off. A local king has heard these wild tales about their bravery, and he wants to reward them. And this, of course, creates a golden opportunity for some, less than heroic characters. And this right here, this is what really sets up the central conflict. You've got the villains, who are motivated by just simple greed. They're posing as heroes for a cash prize. And then you have the real Motu, who, after finally making one single giant samosa, is now driven by this hilarious food-based rage because his friends ate it. It just sets them all on this inevitable collision course. The king, however, isn't just handing out rewards. No, he wants some entertainment. So he sets up the ultimate challenge for these fake heroes. They have to fight a tiger. So you can imagine, right? The second they see a real tiger, the fakes totally panic and confess everything immediately. But the king, he's not impressed. He throws them in the cage anyway, along with Motu's other friends who've been captured. And just when things are looking really bleak, the real Motu and Potlu finally show up to save the day. So, this is the crucial moment. Motu is faced with a choice. The king won't release his friends unless Motu proves he's a hero in the way everyone expects him to, through a big show of brute force against a wild animal. But here's the thing. What happens next is what really takes this story from just a simple comedy to something more. Motu decides to handle this whole situation in a way that nobody, especially the king, could have ever seen coming. So instead of throwing a punch, Motu does something totally unexpected. He uses logic and empathy. He appeals to the tiger's ego, basically explaining that a fight would only bring shame to the tiger's royal status. No matter who wins, the tiger's reputation as the king of the jungle would be damaged. It's a brilliant move. And it works. The tiger totally gets Motu's reasoning, and they shake hands, forming an alliance right then and there. This one act of wit and kindness just completely subverts the king's demand for violence, not to mention our own expectations for a big fight scene. And just like that, the entire conflict gets resolved, not with fists, but with a clever act of friendship. The tables are completely turned. The king faces justice for his cruelty, the villains are forgiven, and all these chaotic storylines get tied up in a surprisingly wholesome conclusion. I mean, think about it. From a desperate craving to a kitchen explosion, a royal impersonation plot, and an unlikely friendship with a tiger. It just goes to show you that sometimes the most chaotic journeys start with the simplest things, and that the best solutions often come not from strength, but from a little bit of wit and a whole lot of heart.